We are the creators of reality. Those who have mastered perseverance, those who thrive despite attempts to thwart us, those who make magic at the root of the very trees they hung us from. We are the mountains and the rivers. We are the sun and the moon. We are sand and gems. We are the first and the final. We be big and small. We be light and dark. We be seasoned and youthful. We be sensual and sacred. Those gifted and divine. Those powerful and radical. Those vibrant and ancestral. We are the creators of reality. We are the Black Oasis. Welcome to the Black Oasis podcast. I'm your host, Kaya Supreme, and this is the place where we lay it all down. Oh, today's guest, we got the big dog in the building. He is one of the most kind, nurturing, sweet, loving, silly people I know. I
What an
love
intro. I love an intro.
we're not done yet, Dan.
Oh,
I love
wow.
him. He is one of the best fathers. And let me say this: the black men in my family, we have a lot of good, strong fathers in our family, and I'm grateful to be surrounded by such dynamic black men, such powerful black men, to have been raised by such God-fearing and righteous black men. Now, they will cut a fool, okay? But for the most part, they are superior beings. And this black man, I am so honored to call my cousin, the one, the only, the divine, dynamic, Daren Crosby. Woo,
Yeah.
woo, woo,
What
woo,
an
woo,
intro. What an intro. I appreciate that.
woo. Dan, thank you so much for being on Black Oasis. Um,
Absolutely.
it's such a pleasure to have you. And, so today we're just going to celebrate you. We're just going to talk about you and all your chocolateness, all of your musically talented, creative, innovative
Yes,
not
ma'am.
father of the year. I can't give you that, but
No,
top,
yeah.
we can't give you
Yeah,
father of the
okay.
year. But you
No.
on the you up there. You know what I'm saying? You top
I'm
five.
running
You know
a I'm running a close second. I'm running a close
Yeah,
second.
close second. So tell us a little bit about you, a little bit about your background. Where are you from? Who you be? What do you do? You know?
I'm from Cleveland, Ohio. I guess specifically, I'm a father of um, two girls, Danielle and Desiree. I'm a husband. I'm a son. Um, I'm a private pilot. I just got my pilot's license to fly drones commercially. Last
Wow.
couple of years, I got into shooting video, doing videography. I'm a certified real estate appraiser. I'm a signal maintainer. I work on the traffic signals for like the local transit system for the trains. Um, as you said, I play guitar, play bass. Me and a friend of mine started a gospel group. The name of the group is still under construction, and we've been running strong. As a matter of fact, this weekend, we were in a contest with some other groups, and we won first place. It was 13 groups,
Wow.
so they gave us a cash prize, and they had a concert, and they had a lot of out of town acts to come in, and we actually got a chance to open a concert Saturday. I guess I'm a jack of all trades, but master of none, I guess.
Dan, first of all,
I wish I could clone
why
myself.
why are you so like you slick Jamaican? You know what I'm saying? Like
Why
how
is
you
that?
how you how you just I don't know, like do so many jobs and where do we get that from? I feel like so many of us just be like workaholics. Where do you think your work ethic came from?
It's just in our bloodline, Blake. Like if you go all the way back to like the way, my dad and your dad, obviously, everybody may not know, but they're brothers. They came from a group of 10 siblings, 5 boys, 5 girls. They grew up sharecroppers and they handed all of that stuff down to us. Nothing was given to them. They had to work for everything they had. So, them handing that down to us, it was just automatic. It's like a part of who we are. It's a part of our DNA, so to speak. So I definitely get that from my dad and my mom. And, they always worked. Like I said, was never given anything. And so that's pretty much all I know.
Can't stop, won't stop. And um And I personally am trying to take it to another level, like, so I'm going to ask you some questions, okay?
Okay.
And I mean, I know that we are a family of workers. We have a strong work ethic. People have been working some of the same jobs in the same field for ever. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
But something that I've been really intentional about, I would say, for the last, maybe 3 or 4 years, and just really trying to like balance myself out, is this idea of self care. And a lot of Black folks are talking about self care, soft life, making sure that they balance work and play, don't, run themselves into the ground. Because, our ancestors, we come from people who were enslaved. They ain't had no options, but they
Absolutely.
sacrificed a lot for us to be able to have options. And so, my question to you is, how do you take care of yourself, Dan?
You know what? That's a good question, Blake. You know what I do? I like to work out. And me personally, I love my me time. My wife and
Mm.
my kids, everybody can tell you that. Like, I just enjoy doing things on my own. Like, I love my me time. And some of the things I named earlier, doing the videography stuff, playing with the group, just different hobbies and stuff that I have. I don't have a lot of time, but when I do get time to do those things, I just try to make the most of it.
Yeah. And I mean, like, but the question, you listed so many things. Like,
Huh?
how do you just keep coming across new stuff to do? Like, how you go from
Like, where does stuff come
bass guitar to traffic control? Like, what is where's
from?
that come from?
And you know what? I think it's just the way I'm hardwired. Like, I really don't like to. I just like to keep reinventing myself. I find myself getting bored easy after a while, and like, if I'm doing one thing, then that gets boring, then I have to, try something else. And I'm gonna tell you one thing that kind of changed my way of thinking is, my twin brother, he passed away back in 2010, and my dad passed away when I was 18. So I had a lot of close people to pass away. So that really showed me the value of the time that you have. So
Yeah.
whatever you want to do with the time that you have, why wait? If you wake up tomorrow morning, you want to do something that's good for your community, is positive, is conducive for the environment, then you might as well do it because the next moment is not promised. So I keep that at the front of my mind a lot too. And if something pops in my mind and I really feel passionate about it, then I just go after
Whew. Sorry.
it.
You talked about Darren, and that takes me a little to the left.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
gonna recenter myself. Um, So, as we look in this day and age, um, I talk to a lot of people on this podcast, and I ask them what their what their what their wish for Black people is, and I will ask you the same question at the end. But
Okay.
mostly, their answers somewhat all align with the idea of unity, or Black people knowing their history, knowing who they are, and I'm single, whoop whoop, single, but you've been married for like 50 years now at this point. And my question is, like, when you think of Black men today, right?
Mhm.
And you think, like, what number one, what are some of your favorite things about being a Black man?
Some of my favorite things about being a Black man is you have to have thick skin. Like when you go out here, you won't make it very far if you don't. You
Yeah.
know. Another thing that I like but it's just personally about being a Black man is just I guess knowing our heritage, knowing what we've been through, knowing what we've come from, not even just in our own family lineage, but even pre-slavery into slavery into nowadays. Like that provides a solid foundation for me to draw from. So when I come against these different obstacles and racism, all the stuff that we deal with on a daily basis, that gives me, like I said, that solid foundation to draw from and to fall back on. And it gives me that motivation to know, because even sometimes I might, you may get a little, even though you're a strong person, you may doubt or question certain things, or, you may get down sometimes. But when you think back on those things, that gives you that courage, so to speak, to know that if they made it through that, I can make it through this. This
Yeah.
is nothing compared to, to what they had to go through. And I'm of that lineage. So the same will that they have inside of them, that's the same will that I have inside of me. But we have to come into that knowledge and know that before we can internalize it and actually put it to use.
Yeah. And how, I mean, so I'm sorry, Dan. I got
You all right? You good?
Yes, I'm okay.
What's going
I'm
on?
sorry. Hold on a second,
You
cause
want me to, you want to switch roles? You want me to ask you some questions?
I knew you. You know what's so funny? I knew you were gonna say that shit.
You know me.
You can, now you can ask me whatever you want. You know what I'm saying? That's not an issue for me. If you have questions, you can definitely
Well,
ask
what's
me.
going on with you right now?
Like what? What do you mean in life?
No, like right this second. Like
First
you
of
getting
all,
emotional.
because you talk about Darren and your dad, and it is I'm sensitive.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, and I mean that's gonna be my next question because then so now I get to thinking, because now I get to thinking, and I'm looking at you, and then so I'll just say
Right.
this: people they are twin brothers, and his twin brother transitioned young, and so and y'all just like them two most angel, like seriously, angels on earth. Like, people always talk about twins and how like sometimes there might be like a good one and a bad one.
You're right. Alter
But that wasn't
ego.
the case, like y'all are both just dynamic people. You're a little more
Appreciate that.
outgoing and loud,
Right.
but
That's true.
still the energy was the same, the passion was the same, the jokes were the same. And I just love beating y'all up and growing up
And
just
we used to let you beat us up because you was the little cousin. Don't
well.
get ahead of yourself now.
We can we can discuss that later, but at this point in time, all I'm gonna say is I know I won. I never took no L's. I never
All
took
right,
no L's.
I give you that.
But like you have had grief. You've had loss, and I don't know how you stay so optimistic and bubbly and nice. And I mean, like how like what was that like? How like yeah, what was that like?
You know what? Not to sound like a broken record or cliche-ish, but like what I really believe that what doesn't kill you truly makes you stronger. So like
Hmm.
when my dad passed when I was in college, like I said, I was only 18. That was tough. That was like the toughest thing I ever had to go through. But I had my mom, I had my brother, I had family, and I also have a close relationship with God. All those things coupled together helped me to get through it. So then when I come up against the next thing that may be, not as tough, because it's kind of like you can't really, nothing is going to be like the same as that. You only got one
Hmm.
father, especially, and my dad, he was there, he was a man, he worked, he taught us things. So he was more than just, a sperm donor or whatever. He was
Hmm.
actually there. So nothing can really replace that as far as something happening that's that bad. Like it's going to be different. So
Hmm.
then when my brother passed away, you know what I mean? I was a little bit stronger, a little more apt to deal with that because of the past situation with my dad and just different things we go through in life. And like I say, just leaning on my relationship with God and spirituality and family and talking to people and friends and all that different kinds of stuff. Like it truly takes a village, to help you get through these things. And sometimes people don't realize how important they are or things that they do, how important those things are to people. Sometimes we say little things, encouraging things or give somebody a hug, and it may seem small, but those things are actually big in essence, to carry you through these different situations and these different things that we deal with in life.
Yeah.
So
So let's talk about, marriage really quickly. How long have you and Tish been married?
we've been married for, let's see, Danielle will be 22. It'll be 23 years in June. Yeah, Danielle will be 22. Desiree will be 19 this year. Yeah, so it'll be 23 years in June.
And so, as I mature and start to really consider settling down, um, and trying to build a family, um, I start to just now kind of realize all the work that might go into the situation. And
Ooh.
yeah,
Yeah.
and you're pretty young. compared to me, when you all got married. And so my
Mhm.
question is like, how did you, number one, know that that's what you wanted to do? Like, how did you know that you wanted to get married?
Well, I met Tish in college. I was 18. She was like, I think she's 4 years older than me, so she was 22. So we were young and we took our time and we dated for like 5 years. You know,
Mhm.
like we was young, we wasn't into a rush. We was in college still, trying to find our way. Then, graduated, got a job. So it really wasn't a rush. So we kind of got a chance to really, really get to know each other. I think sometimes what I see from people is they get a certain age, and a lot of women too, I guess their biological clock starts ticking and all that kind of stuff, and they feel rushed. And then it's like, okay, I'm with this person, and they got a job. They only got one baby mama. You know what I'm saying? And it's
Mhm.
like, this is who I'm with, and this is as good as it's gonna get right now. I gotta go ahead and do this now because if I don't do this now, it's like now or never.
Right.
So I think we took our time and we were fortunate and blessed enough to find each other early on. And another thing, like I think our situations were unique. Like she was born. She was raised by her mom and dad. They were both in the church. Her dad's a pastor even to this day. Her parents are still married. I was raised by my mom and dad, kind of like traditional upbringing, and she had the same thing. So a lot of like what I see lacking in a lot of relationships, like a lot of those things, like a lot of those issues we just don't have because, you know, we, our parents didn't put the cart before the horse, so to speak. Like, you know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? They got married, you know what I mean, and all that kind of stuff. And they raised their kids, and we were able to see because I talked to my wife about that kind of stuff even now.
Mhm.
Like her parents were going to go through a divorce. Like she remembered that stuff, but they worked
Mhm.
through it. Her
Mhm.
dad, he lost his job at the steel mill, so he had to be at home cooking. Her mother had to be out working. So she had these examples, of like, okay, well, they're going through some hard times, but they not just throwing in the towel.
Right.
So it actually became a part of who she was. Like, so she knew like, okay, when we get married, we might come against these kind of problems, but this is the way you should handle it. You know what I'm saying? And I
Yeah.
had those same kind of experiences. And like I said, we were just fortunate in that way because a lot of people don't have those examples, as far as like their mom and their dad in a home, married and working through situations and doing whatever they got to do to put food on the table, like seeing all of that kind of stuff, it makes a world of difference as opposed to not having those examples.
Yeah. And so like how do you, what do you think are some things that we can do, to infuse that kind of love, support, understanding, flexibility into our community?
You know what I
Like,
think? That's a good question. I think it's important. See, and I even have to check myself with this sometime, especially in our community, in the Black
mm,
community. It's like we don't want to get in each other's business, so to speak.
mhm,
Like we'll see something going on over there. Well, that's their business. But
mhm,
where has that gotten us? You know what I mean? Taking an apathetic approach
mhm,
to things it's gotten us nowhere but where we are right now. You know what
mhm,
I'm saying? So we constantly going back or staying in the same place. We're not advancing or growing. So if you see your fellow brother or sister and they need a hand or help with something, or if you see a married couple, because people confide things in us all the time, you
mhm,
know, then don't just say, okay, well, that's their business or let them work it out. Like actually like make it your business, so to speak. Not in a negative way where you're trying to get into their business or be messy or
yeah,
tell their business, but actually have enough care and concern for them in their situation, to tell them like, okay, we had a similar situation like that, and this is what we did, and this is how we got through it. And hey, give me a call. If you want to talk about something, give me a call. Like I got friends go through different things, as guys, whatever. And then I will go out and get something to eat, or they'll call me. We'll talk about certain things. I got friends right now that are going through divorces and some possibly going to get divorces and different things like that. And they call me and confide in me in certain different things. We just got to start being there for one another. I mean,
yeah,
that's the biggest thing.
yeah.
Just if you see people in need and you can help them, just help them. It's simple.
Yeah, I mean, I think we have to be vulnerable enough to ask,
That's
you know,
true too. Yeah.
and we have to be in tune enough to notice um, of when people need help. And I know that sometimes folks get exhausted. Like people be peopling,
Yeah.
Sometimes folks come with their stuff, Sometimes it's like, man, oh, these people always need. But we're never going to get further without community and without support.
Right.
Um,
Right.
so transitioning into fatherhood, right? You got married, you and Tish did the thing. Shout out to Tish Crosby, love you, girl. Um, but like then you became a dad of two girls.
Two girls. Yep.
And they are just as fierce. I mean, they're actually way better people than you. Love you, but they're just the coolest. But like, what was that like? Like you had your first baby girl. I mean, I remember all these things, but I'm just like, for
Yeah.
you, what was that like? Like, my gosh, I'm a dad.
Yeah. It was like a surreal experience. Because well, Danielle, she wasn't. She was more of a surprise. I'll just say that. I'll say it that way. But
Mhm,
it was a surreal experience, and especially as men and black men, we try to be this have this machismo or this macho persona. But like when you and I know your dad is the same way. Like when you dealing with your girls, your daughters, it just it brings out a softer side of you, like a more
mhm,
passionate side. Like my daughters, they talk about this all the time. They can count on one hand like how many times and still have fingers left. How many times I like hit both of them. You know what I'm saying? As far
mhm,
as like disciplining them or whatever, like with
mhm,
them, whatever.
mhm.
So it teaches you a lot about yourself. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like I said, especially as a man, it teaches you. It's okay to be a little tender. It's okay to be a little soft. It's okay to go to the little daddy daughter dance and dance with your daughter. You know what I mean? All of the kind of stuff that you never really thought that you would even like enjoy. Or be a part of. It just introduces a totally different element like to your life.
Yeah. And I'm okay. So first of all, you spank my cousins.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you, it was two times. It was two times. We was in church. Danielle was 2 years old, and I had said something to her, and she actually slapped me. And I looked at her, and she looked at me like, yeah, that really happened. I just slapped you. And then I think she did it again. And I think I might have popped her or something for that. And then one day, Desiree, she was probably about 3 or 4 or something like that. And I told her to be quiet or something like that. She kept talking, and I might have like popped her on the mouth or something like that. That's it. I never whooped them with a belt or like the kind of disciplines that I got. Yeah, nothing like that.
Y'all love first of all, okay, so let's just say this. We're in the same generation as far as birth order goes, right? Like there's
Right,
Leela Bell and there's Sonny Boy and they got 10 kids, okay? His dad is my dad's older brother with some in between and one older. It's like,
right,
so
right, right.
so he's older than me. And so I feel like y'all always talk about how y'all had it and don't even know what we had to go through. I got beat with the extension cord and we had to go get the switches.
Not by your dad.
Then by who?
I don't believe that. I seen you and interact with your dad. I don't believe that he ever whipped you with a switch or anything. I'm not buying it.
Are you serious, Dan?
I'm serious.
Okay, let's just put it into perspective, right? You know what kind of teenager I was, right?
Right, right.
Okay. And you think that there was never a moment, never a moment when things got a little lit, a little serious?
I mean, yeah, I can see that since you put it that way, but
No, okay.
I still I don't think it might have been something, maybe a situation where like he he had to diffuse
Mhm.
a situation or something like that.
Mhm. Oh, okay.
You know what I'm
All
saying?
right.
I
We
don't think it
go.
was anything where it was like, well, you did this, you did that, go get me a switch. Like, you know what I mean? Where everything was cool and then you come back in. I don't think it went like it. Your situation might have been like you say, knowing you, it might have been like a spur of the moment type thing. Like, okay, this is about to go down. So we gotta intervene like yesterday.
We're done. Thank you for upholding my father's integrity. He's a good man, but I just want y'all to know Ernest Crosby spanked me. No, let me stop. Uh, let me stop. No, he's a great man. And anytime I did get disciplined, trust me, I needed it. But so did you ever play sports?
Absolutely. I still play sports.
Oh, really? What did you play?
I played basketball from fifth grade all the way through high school. I played intramural basketball in college. I played baseball all the way from did I say basketball first or baseball? I
You
played
said
basketball.
basketball first.
Okay, I played basketball fifth grade all the way through high school, intramurals in college. Then I played baseball from little league, like 8, 9 years old, all the way through high school. Um, Football, basketball, baseball, all of that stuff.
So do you
Yeah.
think sports had an impact on like your personality, your development, the way you?
Yes, it's essential. I encourage everybody, and even if it's not just sports, some sort of team activity. That's important because that's just the world we live in. You got to be able to work with people, come up with plans and how to multitask and how to overcome. Okay, we down by 5 points. It's 20 seconds left. We got to come up with a game plan. Like it's more than just a notion. Like those are crucial things that you need to survive in life because we live in a world with people. We got to associate with people and deal with people. So you got to, that team building and discipline and, okay, this is what you do. This is your role, all of that kind of stuff. And, it's important. You got to do your part and then I do my part and then it'll result in a success. You know what I'm saying? All of
Right.
that kind of stuff is essential.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I ask everyone this question. Um, if you had to create your own paradise, right? Like at Black Oasis, the metaphor is that when Black people come together and we all, like you just said, do our part, that we create an oasis for one another, a place where we can rejuvenate one another, heal one another, sustain one another. And so when you think about your own personal oasis, your own personal heaven, paradise, a place where you go to get rejuvenated and a place where you go to get refreshed, what is one thing that has to be a part of it? One thing that has to be a part of it.
One thing that has to be a part of it. That's a good question. I never really thought about that. I guess I would have to say I would have to have some place where my family is accessible,
Hmm.
but I also have to have somewhere where I can go and just be alone, spend some time with myself, with my thoughts, get in tune with myself mentally, uh, spiritually, have some alone time. So I guess, I would have to have those two elements and I think I can make it.
Do you meditate?
Uh, I pray and I kind of meditate on the words, so to speak. You know what I mean? But I don't like,
Mhm.
and that's probably something I should start doing. I don't like really just sit, to myself and I guess meditate, like, in the sense of the word, or just, meditating to myself or whatever, thinking. But I probably should do that. Most of my meditation is more like spiritual, like reading the Bible, reflecting on the word,
Hmm.
things like that. I'm a part of like I said, we started that gospel men's group, but at the church I'm going to, I'm a part of another spiritual men's group, and we talk about like being a spiritual father, spiritual husband. They talk about everything like that. We deal with as Black men, money, sex, all of that kind of stuff, and we have a lot of lessons and different things like that. So I meditate on a lot of things like that. I like things that's applicational. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
you can apply to life. Yeah.
Mhm. Okay. So this is the last question, and of course, this is my favorite question. If you could go to sleep tomorrow, make one wish for Black people, and wake up and it be true, what would it be? One wish for Black people.
That's tough. One. You know what? I would have to say, if it was just one, Stop letting other people define who we are as black people.
Mm.
Like I see, we look at Instagram and TV and all of this other stuff, and then we try to, mimic this, and then we try to do this, and then we see this, and then we try to do that. And what's the thing now that the women doing, the BBL and all of that kind of stuff? And I don't understand it, because black women are one of the most, if not the most, curvaceous women on earth.
Hmm.
Like some of this stuff that we doing, it don't even fit us. Like it don't really even apply to us. So I just want us to, to stop letting other people define who we are, but a lot of that comes from, we have to go back. We got to go back and learn about ourselves, and learn about our lineage, and learn about where we come from. Because, if we know who we are, then we won't be constantly searching for this and for that, and falling for this and falling for that, and indulging in this, or they say this, okay, I'm gonna go do this today, and then that's out of style, so now this is in style, so I'm gonna go do that. So I just, in a nutshell, I just wish we just like stop letting people define who we are, learn about who we are, and then we make our own definition of what blackness is, and what we want to be, and our role in that blackness.
Yeah. You I wanted to do 23andMe. I think Chelsea did it. Chelsea and Mutt. I wanted to do. I'm scared though, because I don't, like I'm slick a conspiracy theorist, and I think if I send my DNA off to a lab and I give it to them people, like, I mean, they probably already have my damn
I
DNA.
was just
But
about to say, they already got everything. If you got Alexa in your house, they listening to all your conversations. If you ever filled out an application, or
Mhm.
downloaded the app and put your email in, I mean, they pretty much got everything anyway.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna do
Yeah,
it because I just want to know. I want to know. I want to know like where we really, really come from, like
but my
before.
thing is, like, how confident can you be in that? Like, if you send them your, you do that, and then they tell you, okay, this, that, and that. Like, how can you be confident that that's even accurate?
Maybe I'll do two different ones and then we see.
And compare them.
Compare them and see. I'm like, if somebody lying, and then we'll
Yeah,
just
yeah.
close. I'm gonna do ancestry.com and 23andMe. Y'all better match.
That's a
Because if
good
you
idea.
don't, you get a refund. Okay, Dan. Well, thank you so much for coming on Black Oasis. I love you.
It was a pleasure. I love you too. If you need anything, call and let me know. Oh, the other thing I do, I named all that stuff I do, but I do that.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Now
yeah.
I'm an author. I came up with this. It's called the 30-day Bible study for everyone. It's 30 Bible verses and inspirational phrases. And after each verse, it gives you a note section for self-reflection. We was talking about the Oasis thing. You can
Mm-hmm.
self-reflect. And all the verses are in King James and the New International Version. Those are the most popular Bibles that people read, the King James Version, New International Version. So go ahead and get your copy. It's on Amazon. Yours will look just like this. It just have my name at the bottom.
I'm gonna give away a copy in honor of your episode. So I'll buy it and get, of course, buy one for myself, and then also give it. Because first of all, did you like announce that to the family and tell everyone, or
Aunt Hattie knows. She said she was going to buy three. My wife and kids know, but no, yeah, I did. You know how I didn't really.
no? I'm tired of us saying stuff like that. You know how we are. I'm tired of that
Hey, well,
foolishness.
they'll know now. And make sure when you get it, make sure you leave positive feedback. It'll bless you. Go get it.
You know what? This man right here. Look at you, just so cute. I love you, little chocolate ball self. All right, Dan. You know what? I literally wish you nothing but quiet time, joy, money, prosperity,
I receive it.
love, uh, grandchildren. Ooh,
Huh?
grandchildren.
Say that.
Ooh, what you gonna do when you a grandpa? Ooh, I wish you
Man,
nothing but increase, more, 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 more. Because truly, honestly, and I say this so seriously, um, the yardstick that I have to what is honorable in a man, you are a part of that, of creating that yardstick. You are a part of that baseline. When I think about, who is a man, what is a man, what is a man supposed to do, Your name pops up, Marky's name pops up, Desmond, everybody in my family that who has contributed to my well-being, whether it just be loving on me, whether it be supporting me, pulling my coattails, or just the way that you live your life. I want you to know that we watch you, we're inspired by you, we love you, we are so grateful for you,
I
and you
appreciate
really
that.
have set a standard of what an excellent Black man is. So keep
Thank
on.
you. Thank you. Thank you. I do appreciate that. And Tish, I was talking to her. I told her that, you're gonna have both of us on there for the marriage thing, and she
Mm-hmm.
can't wait. But you know what though? I might not be present because y'all ain't gonna jump me. I ain't about to get off into no stuff with no two.
Well, first of all, it's virtual, so I mean, if you scared, say you scared. You know
Right,
what I'm
right.
saying? If you shook, that's fine. Say that. But at the end of the day, I think you can handle it.
Yeah, I'll be there. I'm just joking. You know
I
I'll
know.
be there.
Mhm. All right, y'all. Thank you all so much for supporting Black Oasis. Continue to follow on Black Oasis at everything and Black Oasis ATL on Instagram, Black Oasis on YouTube, Facebook. We're on Spotify. We're on Apple Podcasts. We're on iHeartRadio. We're on Audible. We're on all the things. Wherever you see or hear a podcast, you can find Black Oasis. So thank you so much for your support. Make sure that you buy my cousin's book,
Yeah, go get it.
because this is a man who lives by the word, who does what he talks about. He walks the walk and talks the talk. So make
Yes,
sure you get your
indeed.
copy on Amazon. One lucky listener will be getting theirs for free. Compliments of Black Oasis. So thank you all. Stay Black, and until next time. Wait, until next time, stay Black, but you don't really have a choice. And lucky you. Peace.
All right.